Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing New Breed in the 3-minute pool on ICC. New Breed is a 2240 rated player, and maybe if he plays D5, I'll play B5, and we'll get into a Banco Gambit. Yeah, I'll play it like that. So he's already committed to knight F3. I can just take. If he plays E4, we're in a main line. You could also play G3 and fianchetto the bishop. I haven't played knight F6 yet, contrary to a usual Banco. And wow, H4. I wasn't really expecting that move, so I'll just play knight F6. That's offbeat to say the least. I think there's no doubt about that. I wonder if I should send my knight in through A6. Nah, I'll just do knight BD7 as normal. So I don't really know how H4 like jives with the rest of his position. Here I'll play knight B6. Do I want to? Let's castle first. I was just thinking if knight B6 I could maybe sneak my knight into C4 quickly. But we'll just play this conventionally. King G1, okay. Problem is he can't really go to H2 so easily in view of knight G4 check. So that should slow him down somewhat. We'll go Queen A6. I still want to go knight G4 and then stick a knight on E5 and maybe get into D3 or C4 with my knight. So I think that would be the most logical plan here. Yeah, this H4 move didn't work out at all for him. I think just this. Which knight? Let's do this knight. Don't know that it makes a ton of difference. I could have played knight takes F3 check, but I really want this knight to come into D3, so I won't. How about Queen D3 now? Knight D3 also just looks really good, though. Is he going to play Rook E3 in that case? He might. Queen D3, huh? Yeah, I like Queen D3. Just playing for the endgame. He'll play Queen C1 or Queen D1. Probably Queen C1. But on Queen C1, I'm thinking Knight C4, hitting the bishop and hitting the B2 pawn. Okay, plays Rook C2. So he wants to trade queens on his own terms. Makes sense. Okay, I am agreeable to your terms. Knight D3. Yeah, Knight D3 must be good. B2 is a huge target. And if B3, I have Knight B4. He has coordination issues. I wonder if you could go B3, Knight B4, Rook B2, despite it looking very dangerous. He probably can do that, yeah. Problem is I can't take on C3 and then win the A2 pawn because he takes back and he has a mate threat, is the issue. So let's just go here. And I'll try to jump this knight in to D3 as well. I hope there's not too much congestion going on in my position. What about bishop D4 now? Looks okay. He has knight D1. Okay, plays knight H3. I'm going to go King G7, maybe bring my rook over to H8. The knight on B5 is annoying for me. Okay, let's go here. I'm going to try to stick this knight on D4 eventually. And trade. Knight back to D7, sure. Huh. Yeah, the position is stabilizing, and not in my favor. At least I'm threatening knight F2 now. He covers. I'm threatening rook takes A4. I could have done that last move, actually. Let's go rook here. And if he takes, I'll take with a pawn.
Check.
And then I have knight F2 on the way. So if he plays like rook h4, knight f2 is good. Okay, this is looking good now. All of a sudden, let's just attack that guy. Ah, he keeps everything defended. Let's give it a check. See where he goes with his king. If knight c4, yeah, I guess I just take here. I'll try to bring my knight to e4.
Check.
He just consistently has everything defended. Okay, now I win a piece, don't I? Let's do this. Huh. Just want to make sure I don't lose my rook. Okay. And he flagged. At the end, it might be a draw. Probably is a... Well, I don't know. My king is fairly active, so he's got to move his knight, like knight e3 check, and I could go king d4. I might be able to win that g2 pawn. It's probably a draw, though. Okay, let's have a look. So it started off as a modern, but then transposed into a Benko. I don't know if he was trying to capitalize on the fact that my knight had not landed on f6 yet by playing this move, trying to go h5, but... Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But as played, it really didn't work out that well for him. Because in so many lines, like my knight jumping into g4 was such a positive thing for me. So e3, we traded. Yeah, and this is like a normal Benko gambit accepted, but one in which his pawn is on h4, and also he had to waste 2 tempos in order to play e4. So I got to assume I'm just doing extremely well here. I don't know though. I couldn't land a good blow right away. Let's see what the engine has to say right around here. Knight h5. I don't see why knight h5 would be such a good move. c4. Yeah, c4 is one idea I probably didn't give enough consideration to during the game. Because often in the Benko, if you can go c4 and then knight c5, d3 presents a great square for the knight to anchor itself on. Excellent outpost square. So maybe I can just do that. And with bishop e3, I assume knight g4 is the idea. Yeah. The downside of c4, though, is that you do weaken the d4 square, so they can try to exploit that, like knight d4 and jump into c6. So that's always the downside. So I went knight g4, he played h5, knight here, take, take, knight g5. Yeah, and queen into d3 looks good. Here again, c4. Okay. Once more, this move is excellent for me. Making way for this knight to come to c5, maybe? And also just preventing him from playing b3. Yeah, that's probably the biggest reason to play c4 in this position. Because in the game, you can see that the tide started turning when he was able to play b3 and then a4. It was annoying. I felt like I should be able to win something here, but I'm always hampered by the fact that this, trying to go after the a2 pawn, is met by rook h8 mate threats. Maybe I could have done this, though. f6 now. Okay, threatening the knight, threatening the pawn on a2. Yeah, undoubtedly I missed some chances at this stage. Knight bd3 would have been better. Knight bd3, rook b1, and c4 once again. It's still a good move. Because my coordination seemed superb, but he just kept defending, 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 and was never able to do much. And at this point, I'm worse. Yeah. Again, c4. There should be a c4 meter for this game. How many times did I miss the move c4? Yeah, and I'm just significantly worse at this point. Although when I got my knight to d4, this was not looking so bad. And here c takes d4. Interesting. That's a very dynamic move. I assume the idea is to give the knight access to c5. Yeah, that was possible. This was intriguing. once I got my knight to g4, I felt like I had sufficient compensation for the pawn. I did miss rook takes a4. I saw that a move after, because his bishop disrupts his coordination between the two rooks. So I saw that immediately after I played my next move, which was, what, bishop f6, I think? Yeah. But he covered it in time. Rook d4. Yeah, f5. Rook d4 check. Knight e3 would have been strong. Yeah, I knew knight e3 must have been a good move somewhere. But I missed the chance to do it. Okay. Before he plays knight c4. So this move hits his rook, so it's with tempo, and also hits the d5 pawn. So if he moves his rook, I can play knight takes d5 check next move. That's much better than allowing his knight to come to c4, as happened with this. And then here, knight f6. Okay, so still coming at d5 with the knight. Because taking on d5 with the rook is clumsy. I'd much rather have my knight end up on that square. Check his king. Now he's better again. Lots of eval swings in this game. Typical blitz game. Yeah, and then that was a mistake because it allowed me to win the exchange. Probably should have been more easily winning here. I just was kind of playing fast because we were both in time pressure. And got the flag at the end. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't expect him to repeat h4, but I didn't do the best job of capitalizing on that. So a lot of like common Benko themes illustrated in this game, though, like black setup in general, the two rooks on the A file. So what I'm doing with these rooks. Also the idea of going knight g4 and into e5 to eventually try to get into d3 or c4. Also the c4 opportunities that I missed. That's a double-edged move in the Benko, and it can be good under the right circumstances. It's just you have to be careful that you're not weakening d4 too much when you play it. But undoubtedly, I had a couple of very strong opportunities for c4. So, all right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back tomorrow with another Blitz video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.